Good morning and welcome back to the woods. As you can see, it's a horrible day. It's really misty. Water dripping off the trees from the rain because it's rained for a week, and I'm going to have quite the job to light the fire. Even with my stock of split wood under my tarp, it's still a little bit damp because we've had rain for a whole week. Well, I'm not going to mess about. I can't find any dry twigs, nothing dry yet, so I'm going to have to use my wood supply. I'm going to have to do quite a bit of splitting as well. So here's a bit of a test for my skills, shall we say. But I am going to use my fire lighting discs, because I really don't want to spend half an hour making feather sticks. Well, I changed my mind. I'm going to do a feather stick lighter with a ferrorod. Give it a go. we'll call that lit. Pretty much textbook there. I'm quite pleased with that. I basically made one decent feather stick with fine curls. The rest of them were pretty quick, rough feather sticks with a lot of splits. As I say, it's soaking here today. I'm very pleased with that, and if my memory serves me correctly, first spark, and I don't edit anything out. This is boring, I'll edit it. I'm pleased with that, but I gotta keep feeding this now. I don't want it to go out. And then I gotta put the pot on, sorry, the kettle, get a cup of tea going. Whilst I'm waiting for my kettle to boil, I thought I'd have a little chat with you. I wasn't sure if I was going to come out this morning because the weather's pretty stinky. But at the end of the day, you want to practice your skills. No better time than in stinky weather. Yeah, I know I took some quarters from my supply here for the wood, for the fire, but let's face it, it wouldn't be that much work to saw some wood up and quarter it. The work is making them small splits. I must have spent about 10 minutes making the small splits, about 5 minutes on the feather sticks, and everything worked out well. Sometimes it doesn't, but it did today. The thing is, lighting a fire this way as well, you get a bit of a void in the bottom. So I don't know if you noticed, but I was filling that void. I was fueling the top and fueling the void as I was going, so the fire didn't all get up the top with nothing underneath. Pretty important that. Yeah, well, it's roaring now and I'm feeling the heat from it, and I'm feeling a lot happier because I got here this morning and I just thought, why am I sitting here in the rain? Is there something wrong with me? Yes, there is something wrong with me. But there we are. One little thing, I'm assuming now you guys are watching this, are regular viewers. I said a few weeks back about the new knife I'd made that it was hurting my wrist when I was using it. Well, last weekend on the Moz Kochanski tribute weekend, I used my tribute knife and I had exactly the same problem with that. Odd, but using my bush tool today, I was fine. But my wrist isn't too bad today. It was really bad last night. I couldn't even make a fist. I didn't know what the hell was wrong with it. But it's actually fine today. A couple of things about last weekend. The super ice shelter I made, I really needed more clear plastic. It didn't reach the floor, the ground. And I'm pretty sure in the past I've never been smoked out. I can't ever remember being smoked out in a super shelter. But the wind last weekend was absolutely atrocious, and that campsite is a very windy spot. The only reason I didn't move further into the woods was because I didn't want to make any more ground scar with the fire, because it is a permission site, and basically I don't want to make any ground scar and ruin the place, so we stick to the same spot. Unfortunately, it's really windy. Yeah, I did one mistake as well when I was building the super shelter. I put a hoop in the back when I should have put that hoop in the front, because the super shelter was vertical. Now I know Moz makes them with the front vertical, but in the past I've made them so that it's got a little bit of a porch. I felt quite constricted, and when I went to bed I'd made the super shelter so I laid with my head south. When I actually got in it with my head south, I was getting smoke from the fire and it was pretty much unbearable. So I turned around, the least comfortable way to sleep. Slept fine, mate. Didn't have to get up that often, so it wasn't too bad. But in the morning, when the rain came down and the wind changed direction, it was really bad. There was no way I could have stayed in it. I had to get out. I had to move it around. Well, my kettle's boiling now. I'm going to have my cup of tea. Hope you don't mind me wittering on. I like to tell you if I make mistakes or I do something that's not quite right. I like to tell you so you can learn from my mistakes. had my cup of tea. My 3 logs in the back are burning nicely, so the fire's just fine. I need to replenish my stocks now. They are pretty low. I've probably got enough wood to light 2 fires. I'd prefer to have plenty of fuel. Now when the tree came down a fortnight ago over there, it brought the dead standing with it. I'm going to section that up. I got 2 saws with me today. I've got my Silky Katana Boy, and I've bought a Samurai 240, I believe it is, basically just to test it. Well, that's going to be in a separate video which I'll film now today, but I'm going to go on now and saw some wood up. Let me show you my dwindling stock. In this wet environment, it really pays to have a stock of dry wood handy. Time for another cup of tea, I think. As you can see, my hat is off. I'm really warm. It may be wet and damp here. It's quite a warm day. And what is it? 11th or 12th of December? Odd weather again in this country. I've dragged the smaller piece of that dead standing over the camp, but the larger piece is, it's not too heavy to carry, but because everything's so slippery here, I'm going to go off and I'm going to cut the stumps off. That's why I brought a small forest axe today, not my splitting axe. Cut them off and I'll probably saw it in half, bring it back to camp. Well, that's enough for one day. It's wet, it's miserable, I'm surprisingly warm. I'm going home. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Thumbs up is always appreciated. Ta-ra! Still here? Me too. I need to burn my fire down a bit. I took the 3 big ones off, doused them with what was left in my kettle after making another cup of tea, and I thought I'll have a little chat with you. Basically, 2 things. I've been thinking of putting a lean-to here. After the storm damage a fortnight ago, there's quite a few trees come down with a lot of greenery, and I'm toying with the idea of getting rid of this setup where I just put it up when I come and put in a lean-to. Making a frame, pretty simple really, putting this old tarp on there and then covering it in greenery. Nothing amazing, just something to keep me dry when I come up the woods. That greenery Next thing is, I'm going to start a Patreon page. I don't know how to go about it, I haven't got a clue, but I've been filming some stuff extra, and I've got some old footage of things, and I thought I'd do that, and I'd also then do like offers. I'm not going to ask you much money, just something small, and I'm going to do knife offers as well. That's the plan. May even do a few t-shirts. I know that goes down well with some people. Perhaps a Rad Brad t-shirt. In fact, I've already been designing it. So that should be a bit of fun, a little bit extra. If you think it's a bad idea, copping out, selling out, whatever, just let me know. I'll probably ignore you anyway, because I'm thinking of doing it. I've got the balls in motion. Right, well, I'm going to finish my cup of tea. My fire is not a lot left of it. I'll douse that, drop the tap, and I'll be off. If there's any bloopers, they will be on now. Ta-da! I nearly went arse over tit then. I don't want to forget Old Faithful. Or you. And I know a few years ago there were some junkies had a camp in these woods somewhere, and that was frowned upon. But I'm no junkie, am I? No, I'm a woodsman. Yeah. And I'm a pretty sensible guy, really. Well, I think that's me done for the day. It's pretty wet, it's pretty miserable. I'm going home. Until the next time, thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up is always appreciated. Ta-ra! Start that again.